Are you a writer or an aspiring writer, but you're not quite sure what to write about? Well, here's an idea. Write about something that you care about. One of the things that I talk to people about when we have discussions about writing is what inspires you? Where do you get your ideas from? Where do you get your characters from? What piques your interest that makes you feel motivated enough that you're willing to put in 5,000 words a day or 2,000 words a day or whatever it is that you invest in your writing? And one of the things that I talk about is to write about what interests you. Write about what you care about. Think about what do you read and let that help shape what you're going to write about. So you balance the things that you like to read versus your life experiences versus the experiences of people that you find interesting or people that you admire, and you blend them together and you come up with something that's interesting. Now, different writers write different genres. So you have John Grisham writes about legal stuff. He writes about courtroom stories or stories involving the law. And then you have Stephen King, who writes about horror, many different types of horror, some supernatural horror and some very realistic horror that can actually sometimes even be scarier than the supernatural horror. And then you have other writers that I admire, like Erica Spindler, who writes suspense. You have James Patterson, who tends to write thrillers. Mike Lupica writes sports fiction. And so whatever, and there's just millions more that we could talk about here and not have enough time and still be able to get this video done. But the thing that you have to look at is, what do the writers do that inspire you? What are the stories that they tell that make you feel interested? And you combine that with the people that you meet in your everyday life and the things that you've experienced, the things that you have firsthand knowledge of, the things that you're curious enough to research, and let that help you pull the pieces together and to begin writing. And the first story that I ever wrote, I sat down, opened a composition book up, and I just started writing. I just freestyled a story that ended up filling up a whole composition book, you know, the kind that you go to the drugstore and you get, and you just fill it up. And I just kept writing and writing and writing and writing. And I ended up with actually a pretty interesting story, even though it had no outline, it had no framework, and I just kind of let the writing flow. And so think about things that you care about. Think about things that you're passionate about, things that you're interested in, people that intrigue you, people that inspire you, and come up with your characters. And then let your characters build your story. Or come up with your story and let the characters develop from the story. Either way, if you're writing about something that you care about, that's going to give you even more energy to see the project through to the end.